Alright, meteorologist Dean Davis and the Weather Pros, liveweatherblogs.com. We are talking about severe weather and the threat of severe weather. The 2-day severe weather, I would call severe weather outbreak that's going to occur between the Ohio Valley and the eastern seaboard, and what we can expect on each of these things. This is a brand new Storm Prediction Center 1-day outlook for the day on Tuesday. Slight risk exists from Cincinnati up to Cleveland, Indianapolis into central Illinois, St. Louis, back into Little Rock is under enhanced risk. You also have the marginal risk pushing to the near to the Virginia-West Virginia border. That'll mainly be a evening and nighttime situation. So we take a look at the categories. Hail. Best chance for hail, southern Missouri into Arkansas. That's the hatched area of her hail. Wind, obviously, Indianapolis, central Illinois, St. Louis, back to Little Rock. Tornado, Little Rock up to the area of central Illinois. This is the area of greatest concern currently for tornadic activity. Now let's take a look and go further down here. Ridging appears to be responsible for delaying meaningful convection across the Mississippi Valley late evening. However, the low-level jet will increase in Missouri and Illinois, and isolated thunderstorms within a quarter from the boot heel of Missouri to central Illinois. This activity should gradually extend to the area coverage and warm convection that lifts towards the Great Lakes. Given these trends, there is an increased confidence that much of the southern plains, lower Mississippi Valley will remain convective-free into the afternoon hours. As a result, significantly boundary layer recovery is expected in Ohio Valley, which is a bad thing. Late in the evening, guidance shows a corridor of strong southwesterly flow aloft into the Great Lakes. Increased to in excess of 80 knots by early afternoon in western portions of the severe risk area. Large level height falls will overspread in the Mississippi Valley, and several convective areas ultimately evolve. Warm air advection corridor. Warm sector, which I'm going to talk about now. Steep lapse rate environment, low level moisture, strong capping, neutral weak substance will allow the air mass to advect northeast. And the surface dew points will rise in the lower 60s. Much of the warm sector rise south of I-70. Breaks in the cloud cover will allow surface particles and convective temperatures in eastern Oklahoma and southwestern Missouri by late evening. In late afternoon, latest thinking that isolated supercells will evolve ahead of the front, along the stationary branch, a low-level jet strengthening of Arkansas around the day. It is not clear how much storm coverage will be noted, but sheer and increasing instability for robust supercells. Forecast sounding suggests very large hail could accompany a few strong tornadoes are possible. Cold front. Large sales forcing will contribute to effective active cold front by the evening. Temperatures boosted. Winter storms are expected to mature into strong squall line that surge east across the Mississippi Valley into Ohio. Damaging winds should be noted with this frontal convention, and tornadoes may also be embedded in this line. Eastward momentum should easily allow this to spread over much of Ohio by Wednesday morning, which is where we'll stick into an issue come Wednesday. But that's pretty much for tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be a different animal. Storm Prediction Center hasn't updated yet. I'm going to go into other things to show you what we're expecting. So now I'm going into the Fornam, and from Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see the storms out in the Midwest, isolated supercells, and you'll see a squall line. That squall line will rampage its way through Ohio. Now we get into Wednesday, and this could get interesting. Look at you see the bowing on that, it's really bad. So this line starts in Indiana, stays very convective into the area, but isolated supercells may come out in front of this line in Virginia, which could lead to some tornadoes, and tornado along the line could also happen. So, not much is changing on that. A very active, strong squall line is likely, and isolated tornadoes are also likely. Along with that, so we're going to pull the shear up here, and let this move along. This is the shear protocol. You see getting the moisture increase This is not good. See this blue? That is a very high level of shear, and that allows for there to be a rotation in the atmosphere, and it's very, very clearly shown here. First, you have the southerly winds. Look how strong these winds are. These bars are really strong and increases with height. Must happen in tornadoes. Also, look at how this turns, this hodograph, into a right fashion. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause real fast, and now I'm pulling up the other part. You can see here a very nice looking hodograph. This is for Roanoke. Okay, so Roanoke tornado is the potential hazard type. STP of 2.5 is actually a very strong STP. So right there it tells me that that's going to be pretty interesting. Also, CAPE. Surface CAPE at 2,000. That's pretty good for this area. And the LCL is low. These are all projections to the damaging wind and tornado threat for Roanoke. And I'm not going to forget about Philadelphia. Take a look at this. Look at strong winds here. Also, a nice turn, tornado potential. STP here will be at round 5 in the fixed layer, which is significant, say the least. So this is something we got to watch out for. I'm pretty concerned about the LCLs there for the tornadoes. We need to watch out for damaging winds with the squall line. Anything out in front of it, or even along it, we could have some isolated tornadoes, and they could be spin-ups. So we have to keep watching this very closely. Of course, I pulled the 3K NAM out of the tropical tidbits. I like this is a little even better than the 4K. Not as close in level, but you can see what will happen here. There's the first line. That's precipitation. That's for tomorrow. But look at the squall line. Oh my lord. This is a strong squall line. And look at how it revamps its energy. And look, this is what concerns me. Here's the concern. Here's the squall line. These cells, this is Roanoke County, these cells are supercells out ahead of this. This is where we will have the biggest risk for tornadoes, but we can't say that it won't happen along the squall line, because this thing will bury itself into the area. And look at the cells in southern New Jersey. So this is a interesting situation setting up for Wednesday, and I'm telling you right now, prepare. Make sure you have batteries. Also, make sure you have like things you can eat that are not refrigerated in case your power goes out. It could happen, especially with a strong squall line like it's showing. Make sure you have a place to go if there's a tornado warning and you're in a mobile home. Please follow these simple things now. Have a weather radio. Make sure your apps that have warnings are up and you can listen to them. Make sure your phones are charged. Anything that you need is electronically charged. Your medicines are together. Get a little cash out of the ATM. Just some prime things to do before we get into the severe weather situation on Wednesday. So, obviously, things can change, but this is a pretty strong run that's occurred over that period. Like I said, with all that strong, I'm impressed by the strength of it, to be truthful with you. This is super composite, and as you see, good lord, we're gonna have a wild day on Wednesday. Very wild day. EHI, or Advanced or Energy Helicity Index. Look at that, strong lifting, strong power. This is a lot of work. I mean, this is a lot of stuff that's going to be going on, and like I said, this is bad. Look at that. That is bad news. I just don't. I'm trying to stress this enough so people take this serious with the potential of tornadoes and the potential of damaging winds. The time frame right now looks between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m., maybe up to 11 in each parts of the area. Problem with anything after dark is it's never good. You can't see tornadoes after dark. So that's one thing that's not good for anything nocturnal. I'd rather see something in the daytime, be able to see it, and warn for it. So that's where we're sitting right now. And I usually don't go long on these, but I feel that the longer ones are because I need to stress the true issues of what can happen on Wednesday, and I'm thankful people are sticking with me to watch this because of this, and I really want people to pay attention. And of course, we'll do these more again tomorrow. So we'll be watching this over the next day or so and giving you the latest information. When a new 3-day pops up, I will be putting it, or new 2-day, excuse me, when it'll be 2-day, I'll place it on Facebook for y'all. Both in my page and also on Live Weather blog. So make sure you take a look at it, the actual Facebook pages. I will be putting that information out there as soon as it comes in. They're still working on it, obviously. They have to work on details when writing the forecast for severe weather and the outbreaks they sometimes have. So I'll talk to you again soon, meteorologist Dean Davison. Thanks for watching. Please prepare and be safe.